Imagine this: deep in the cosmos, an advanced alien civilization intercepts signals from a small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable star. They've discovered thousands of worlds before, catalogued countless species. But when they decode Earth's transmissions, something changes. Their scientists go silent. Their council convenes emergency sessions. And they make an unprecedented decision: avoid humanity at all costs. This isn't science fiction. This is the story of what might happen when aliens finally understand what makes us human. Today, we're exploring why the most advanced beings in the galaxy might fear the youngest species in the cosmic neighborhood. The Collective, a federation of 17 alien species spanning 42 star systems, has existed for over 50,000 years. They've perfected peace, eliminated disease, and explored half the galaxy. Their ships move faster than light. Their technology borders on magic. But they've never encountered anything like us. It started with the Voyager Golden Record. Back in 1977, we sent 2 spacecraft carrying sounds and images from Earth into the void. Music, greetings in 55 languages, pictures of our civilization. A message in a bottle for anyone out there. When the Collective found it, their xenobiologists were excited. Another species. Another culture to study and perhaps welcome. But as they analyzed the data, excitement turned to confusion, then to something they hadn't felt in millennia: fear. The first anomaly: we survive everything. The aliens noticed something strange in our historical records. Earth wasn't a paradise. It was a nightmare factory. Ice ages that froze the planet. Supervolcano eruptions that blocked out the sun. Asteroid impacts. Plagues that killed half our population. And yet, we're still here. Not just surviving, thriving. Most species the Collective had encountered evolved on stable worlds. Gentle climates. Predictable seasons. When disaster struck their planets, entire civilizati. Planet. Supervolcano eruptions that blocked out the sun. Asteroid impacts. Plagues that killed half our population. And yet, we're still here. Not just surviving, thriving. Most species the Collective had encountered evolved on stable worlds. Gentle climates. Predictable seasons. When disaster struck their planets, entire civilizations collapsed. But humans? We walked out of Africa during an ice age. We crossed oceans on wooden boats. We climbed the highest mountains just to see if we could. The alien analysts pulled up footage from our entertainment, people jumping out of perfectly functional aircraft for fun. Climbing sheer rock faces without ropes. Boxing, mixed martial arts, extreme sports. One researcher noted, they deliberately put themselves in mortal danger, for recreation. This was incomprehensible. Every other intelligent species prioritized safety, stability, comfort. But humans seemed to crave challenge, even suffering. We didn't just adapt to harsh environments. We sought them out. The second anomaly: our capacity for violence. Then they studied our wars. The Collective had conflicts in their past, sure. Territorial disputes. Resource competition. But they'd evolved beyond it 10,000 years ago. Violence was ancient history, a shameful chapter they'd closed. But humanity? Our entire history was written in blood. The aliens watched in horror as we documented our own atrocities. World War I, 20 million dead. World War II, 70 million. And we didn't just fight, we industrialized killing. Assembly lines for death. We split atoms to create weapons that could end all life on the planet. But here's what truly terrified them: we didn't use those weapons. Think about it. For 80 years, we've had the power to destroy ourselves completely. We've come close: Cuban Missile Crisis, Cold War standoffs, countless near misses. But something always pulled us back from the brink. The collective realized humans possessed something paradoxical: we were simultaneously the most violent and most restrained species they'd ever encountered. We could be ruthless killers and compassionate peacekeepers. Sometimes the same person, on the same day. This duality was dangerous. Unpredictable. The third anomaly: we never stopped learning. The aliens studied our technological progress. Most species developed slowly, steadily. 10,000 years to go from agriculture to electricity. Another 5,000 to achieve space flight. Humanity. We went from the first powered flight to landing on the moon in 66 years. From room-sized computers to supercomputers in our pockets in half a century. Our exponential growth was unprecedented. But it wasn't just technology. It was everything. We questioned everything. Challenged every assumption. Our scientists actively tried to prove themselves wrong. We had something called the scientific method that was built on doubt and verification. The collective species had traditions, established knowledge. Once something was known, it was settled. But humans? We overthrew our own theories constantly. Newtonian physics. Incomplete, here's Einstein. Absolute time. Wrong, here's relativity. We were never satisfied. One alien philosopher noted, they treat all knowledge as temporary. They assume they're wrong about almost everything and seem excited about it. This relentless curiosity meant humanity's capabilities were impossible to predict. You couldn't model our progress because we constantly surprised ourselves. The fourth anomaly: we pack bond with everything. Then the collective noticed something truly bizarre in our culture: we formed emotional attachments to literally anything. Other species bonded with their own kind. Maybe with symbiotic species on their worlds. But humans? We bonded with predators and turned them into pets. We named our vehicles. We cried over robots in movies. We felt empathy for characters we knew were fictional. There were documented cases of humans risking their lives to save other species. Running into burning buildings for cats. Diving into frozen rivers for dogs. Protecting whales, tigers, even spiders. The collective found this deeply unsettling. It meant humans could potentially form alliances with anyone, anything. Our empathy didn't follow logical boundaries. A human soldier might refuse to shoot an enemy who showed them a picture of their children. Our emotions could override our survival instinct. This made us impossible to predict in first contact scenarios. Would we be hostile? Friendly? Could we form genuine bonds with truly alien beings? The uncertainty was paralyzing. The fifth anomaly: we tell stories about our own extinction. Finally, the collective examined our fiction, and this is where everything came together. We were obsessed with our own destruction. Zombies, nuclear war, alien invasions, artificial intelligence uprising, climate catastrophe, pandemics. We imagined every possible way we could die, and then, we made entertainment out of it. But here's the twist: in almost every story, we survived. Ragtag groups of humans overcoming impossible odds. A single person changing the fate of civilizations. We told stories where hope persisted even in the darkest scenarios. The aliens realized this wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. We were running simulations. Training ourselves for disasters that hadn't happened yet. Every apocalypse movie was a thought experiment: how would we survive this? No other species did this. They told stories about harmony, prosperity, enlightenment. But humans rehearsed for catastrophe. The decision. The collective Supreme Council gathered all the data. The conclusion was unanimous but terrifying. Humanity was a Deathworld species. We evolved in hell and called it home. We were survivors who thrived under pressure. Creative problem solvers who turned constraints into advantages. Warriors who knew when to hold back. Empaths who could love the alien. Storytellers who prepared for every ending. But most terrifying of all, we were young. So incredibly young. Most species the collective encountered were millions of years old, settled into stability. Humanity had only been civilized for 10,000 years and we'd already split the atom, mapped our genome, and touched other worlds. What would we be capable of in another 1,000 years? 10,000? A million? The report's final line sent chills through the council chamber. If contacted prematurely, humanity will either become our greatest ally or our extinction event. Current analysis suggests both outcomes are equally probable. We cannot risk determining which. Recommend full quarantine of the Sol system until further study indicates stable developmental trajectory. Closing. The galaxy continued turning. The collective watched from afar, their stealth satellites observing our little blue planet. They watched as we slowly solved our problems, reached for the stars, and began to mature as a species. And they waited, uncertain whether to fear the day we join them among the stars, or hope for it. Because maybe, just maybe, the galaxy needed a species that refused to give up. That survived the unsurvivable. That looked at the infinite darkness and said, we can handle this. Maybe the galaxy needed humanity. But first, we had to prove we wouldn't destroy ourselves. The aliens are watching. The question is, what will they see?